So if you're happy on your knees, you're going to tuck your head in, turn your tailbone under, and then come all the way up so that the head is up and the tailbone is up. I'll show you from the side. So from here, I'm tucking the head in, pushing the shoulder blades apart, and then tucking my head and my tailbone under and arching my back. And then from here, I'm bringing my head up, bringing my tailbone up, and dropping my ribs down. Now, if you're one of the people who doesn't want to be on their knees today, this is what you're going to do. You're going to round out the whole of the spine, tuck the head in, tuck the tailbone in. You're then going to bring the arms all the way wide, bring them out the back of your body, reach the ribs forwards, and then the shoulder blades are coming back. And I'm also getting a little dip in my lower spine here. Just be careful. So you're going to do 10 of these. Pick your variant. So I'm now going nice and close to the wall. If you don't have a wall, you can do this freestanding. And I'm pressing my shoulder blades back into the wall. Hands are facing forwards, and I'm sliding my hands all the way up overhead and then bringing them all the way back down again. I'm sliding up. This is the eye, and then coming back down again. I'm trying to keep my elbows tucked in and then coming all the way up. And you're going to bring your hands probably just slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and that broom is going to slide all the way up overhead and then coming back down again. This is an eye. You've got 10 of these. So you've either got a wall as support or you have the broom as support. I want you to think about drawing the ribs to the hip bone. Okay, so I'm trying to show you here in line. So that's me flaring. Okay, so you should be able to see this is me flaring out. I'm now drawing my hips upwards and my ribs downwards to get everything neutral. And then I'm coming back in from here. Arms are going up overhead and then coming all the way back down to your chest. Standing with your feet hip distance apart, and you're going to rock and roll these hips backwards and forwards. It's like a funky little dance. Anyone doing twerking? Yeah. Okay, just rock and roll those hips back and forwards. And I want you to feel where neutral is. Once you've got that rock and roll, I then want you to stand still so that you're side onto the camera, and that is your neutral position. Going to keep that neutral position and then move from one side and then to the other. I know this doesn't sound like it's to do with the shoulders, but trust me, it is. If we can't get this disconnect going or this connection going, then we can't get the ribs and the shoulders working properly. Diagonal movement, drawing from one side to the other. And notice how my shoulders stay level. Okay, my hands are in line with my in front of you, and your thumb is pointing upwards. Really important, thumb pointing upwards. Now I'm taking my shoulder and I'm rotating the front of the shoulder so it's pointing down. Let me show you what that move looks like. So from here, that's my thumb pointing up, and I'm taking the shoulder. You see how the front of my shoulder is now pointing downwards? This is the front of my shoulder. It's now coming to rotate downwards and then release. Okay, so thumb's always pointing upwards. I'm not moving the thumb. I'm trying to rotate through the shoulder. From the broom, this is going to come up to your shoulder height and then back down again. Arms are quite wide. Like I'm quite an short person. If I put this up my body, it's probably from my hip to my head height. Okay, roughly from hip to head height, and you just bring it all the way up and back down again, all the way up. So my arms are straight, and then I'm retracting my shoulder blades together and then bringing them all the way as far forward as I can. So get that connection in place even before you start pressing. So from here, I'm getting that connection between the ribs and my hips. And then I'm gently taking the broom, minding out my head, overhead and keeping everything tucked in. So from here, my shoulders are lifting all the way up and then they're coming all the way down. So from here, up overhead. Okay. Now, if it's available to you, you're going to drop that arm back behind you. From here, you're going to lift the left arm up over the front of you and bring it back down again. I'm going to lift up with my left leg and then keep that engagement so that I'm not shifting and falling sideways in a slouch. So from here, I'm lifting up and dropping down, lifting up. And as I lift, I'm lifting with this part of my body. Supporting leg is bent. Okay, it doesn't matter if the other leg's straight or bent. And the most important thing is the tucking of the ribs. So pretty much everyone uniformly, all of the ribs were flaring. One way, now I want you to try and do the opposite way. So keep those ribs tucked in. Arm comes up overhead and behind. And then overhead and forwards, nice and slowly. Okay, so it comes up overhead and then behind and then forwards. This comes out to the side. Show you from the front, out to the side. Hand is coming all the way forwards. Okay, so it's almost like I'm twisting my arm here. Then from here, no flaring of the ribs, it's going to come up over my head and then into the opposite shoulder. Okay, so do it with me. So it is tuck behind and start in this position here. Keep those ribs in. Then you're coming out to the side. Hand is facing in a very uncomfortable position all the way upwards. Okay, just in case you can't see my hand, that's my hand. Now it's going to come all the way towards my left shoulder. I've got it in my right hand and my hand is still upside down. Okay, hand is upside down. It's swooping over my head and then coming into my opposite shoulder. Now coming from here all the way forwards and we're going back the opposite way, up over your head and out. Then coming behind.